You can create a new purchase order using the Purchase Order button on the dashboard, or the Purchase Order node on the left tree menu. After you have clicked the Purchase Order button, you will see the following screen displayed. On top right of the screen as shown here, there is 2 blue buttons from which you can load and save a template to your purchase order. To load the template to the purchase order, click on the blue button with a paper fold on the top right corner. Once you have clicked on the button, you will then see the following screen displayed. From here you can browse from a template that you would like to load by clicking on the numbers on the bottom left as shown here. After you have found the file you would like to load to your purchase order, click on the OK button and your template will be loaded. Note that you can use any previously processed or saved document as a template. This can help you to easily process recurring purchase orders. To save a purchase order as a template, you click on the blue button with an arrow pointing to the right. You will then see this success message as shown here, with a purchase order number indicating that the template has been saved. Click OK to resume editing the purchase order, or click on New to create a new purchase order. After clicking on New, you can create a new purchase order. The following steps mentioned will take you through the creation of a new purchase order by firstly filling out the general information. Select the supplier that is supplying the items. Select the warehouse in which the goods to be bought will be stored. Select the workflow, if applicable to the purchase order. The workflow will determine the approval steps required before the purchase order can be fully approved. Order date. Select the dates of making the order, this is optional. Invoice date. Select the date of when the purchase order will be booked. This will also be the transaction date used in the database. External order number. This can be used to store the order number that is issued by the supplier, if applicable. Supplier invoice. After going through the workflow and being fully approved, the user with permissions can process the purchase order to supplier invoice, which means the purchase order has been provided by the supplier, and the supplier has provided us with an invoice document, which we attach to the purchase order and add the invoice number in the purchase order page. The processed supplier invoice can then be used in the payment batch. To fill out the detail lines, complete the following steps. Click on the plus sign to create a new detail line. The following new screen will pop up. A choice can be made between a stock item or general ledger (GL) account. Click on the GL drop-down menu. You will see the following menu displayed from which you can select your GL account. You can also use the search bar on top to search for either the account number or the account name. EPO will recognize both. Note that the GL accounts that are available in the drop-down are managed by your EPO administrator. Should you miss an account, please consult your administrator. After you have selected your GL or stock item account, you will see the GL account number or the stock code in the item lookup. Once you have selected your general ledger account, fill in the mandatory information to complete the detail lines. By filling in the line description, which will be defaulted based on the GL account. You can also overwrite the description. Quantity. Select the quantity to be ordered. Price. Select the unit price per item. Tax type. Select the correct tax type. Click Create to add this line to the purchase order. Filling in the delivery and address information. Below the detail lines you will see multiple tabs, where you can fill in your delivery and address information, as well as a message tab on the right, where you can type out your external messages. The external messages can be printed on documents issued to your supplier. You can also view the workflow steps, if applicable. To complete the delivery information, fill in the priority. Select the priority of the delivery from low to critical in your purchase order, if applicable. Delivery method. Select the delivery method for the purchase order. The delivery methods are maintained by the organizational administrator and can be changed upon request. Delivery date. Select the delivery date in which the goods were received. Internal messages. In the purchase order messages, you can post any internal messages to the company from here, and it will be saved to the purchase order. It is possible to add attachments to a purchase order. The added files will be linked and stored to the purchase order. There are two ways to upload a file. Option 1. Select the document and drag and drop it in the outlined field. Next, the system will upload the file to this new purchase order. A new screen will pop up at the top of your screen. Here, you need to select the file category for this document. Click Save to finish the upload. Option 2. Click on Select Files, which will open the File Explorer with your documents. From there you can select the document you want to upload to the purchase order. Again, the category needs to be selected before the file can be attached to the purchase order. Click Save to finish the upload. Submitting a purchase order. Once all the detail lines and all mandatory information have been added to the purchase order, you can submit the purchase order by clicking on the green Save button. You can save the purchase order to a draft which can then be submitted at a later stage. To directly process the supplier invoice, click on the orange button. To submit the purchase order, click on the blue Paper Plane button. Note that when a workflow is enabled, the purchase order will be submitted through the selected workflow. Otherwise, the purchase order will be booked directly. Submitted purchase order. Once your purchase order has been submitted, the system will automatically generate a purchase order number, provided the settings in your ERP software have been enabled, as you will see in this success notification message. Note that once the purchase order is submitted, the approver will automatically receive an email that the purchase order is now pending and waiting for approval. Click on New to create a purchase order or click OK, and the Pending tab will be displayed.